How you doing, everyone? We're back for our last two games of round 13, and I hope you guys end up with a pretty good score this week or improve ranks in some capacity. And if you didn't, hopefully you're well set up for round 17. So here we are for the Storm and the Titans game, and just recapping here, we had big Jerome Hughes with another 84. So really just cementing his spot as the second best half. Him, DCE as tying it out for sort of second and third there. DCE playing Origin sort of puts him just behind Hughesy there. So yeah, awesome score for him again without even a try. So, 30 tackles there for 2 misses, 88 meters gained, 300 kick meters, try assists, line breaks, try saves, 3 turnover tackles, just doing everything. So an awesome game for him, and is someone who's definitely going to be a keeper throughout the year. You could even think about picking him up now. He obviously hasn't been lockout yet, but he'll be up closer to 850 after this. So it's probably a little bit too expensive to pick up someone that it won't be playing in round 17 in this week right now. But then, we've said that about Cleary in the past that, wait till he loses a bit of cash or scores a 60 and drops a bit, and that never happens. So you can see that with Hughes at the moment, with Munster, with Harry Grant, all these guys, Pappenhausen that are taking some rest. They're obviously carrying some injuries. Hughes won't be able to do that until maybe later, later on in the season, just before the finals. I'd imagine they'd probably give him a little bit of a rest. So, and he's coming off a mini injury himself. So yeah, something to think about with Hughesy, but he's definitely, top 3 half in the game, and someone we'll probably want by the end of the year. And you can see with guys like Moses and Fogarty and these types of guys, which we'll talk about in the next couple minutes here, is that they're very much inconsistent in terms of, might get 60 or 70 and then they'll get a 30 odd, and that's kind of their up and down, and the rounds them out around that 50 odd average, whereas Hughes is 10 above those guys. We got Trent Loy Ray as well there with 77. So on his debut game at 228k, really really good score. 49 tackles, obviously 6 misses, but try saver in there, just a bit of everything. And you're not going to expect him to average 77. For a game that was fairly well split possession wise, for him to get 49 tackles on an edge is really really strong. And really happy if you picked him up. The interesting thing is with Kenny Bromwich probably going to be out for the next sort of 3 to 5, 6 weeks. We're not exactly sure yet. He might end up on that edge, and it could be a smart one to pick him up as a bit of a cash grab / someone that's going to score fairly well, and you actually be able to play him in your side over the next few weeks. So let's keep an eye out on that and see what happens there with him. But Brandon Smith here, the cheese, what do you say, grated cheese is what he wants to be called now, with 68 there, and he actually played 69 minutes this week, which is really good. So for him, just a bit of everything, a couple of turnover tackles, try assists, just been absolutely incredible the last bunch of weeks. And if you'd held him from the start of the year, you've actually ended up with a really good asset there of someone who's going to be up over 700k after this week. I would suggest not bringing him in, as when he moves back to a lock role, he won't score as well, but he's been incredible since, especially the last month. So well done if you decide to pick him up over the last few weeks. He's done great. Jarrod Wallace with another try. When he gets a sneaky try, he does score well, but not someone you want to be picking up. And both of these teams, obviously, they're going to be having a bye in round 17, and anyone Origin won't be playing as well. So you kind of need someone here to be making a lot of cash for you, or just a really, really gun scorer, which probably goes hand in hand. But to actually bring them in, for example, like Peachy, we know is a clear keeper in the centres. So he could be someone you'd just target either way. But it's also probably worth waiting till round 18 as well. And a lot of people were worried about him getting moved to the bench, and he comes out with one of his better scores of the year with 54 minutes, 57 points. So just think about his role off the bench there is similar to what Watson will do. Come on and play 50 to 60 minutes, after that 20, 25, 30-minute mark, and just play the rest of the game and attack those tired forwards, get the tackle breaks, just play well. And he had no negatives in this game, and that's why he did really well. So, yeah, Peachy are definitely a gun centre if you need to pick someone up like that. Nikko Heinz with 47 and a slightly down game this week. If you brought him in just this week for captaincy purpose or whatever you wanted to do there, you got him at a little bit of a premium, I think. Unfortunately, you would have been looking for a 70 plus there. Just wasn't to be this game, and it wasn't the free flowing Storm attack that we used to, which meant he didn't get to do as well. Obviously got a line break and a try assist there to get that 47, and you cop that, but yeah, is what it is with Nikko this week. Greg Marzu, so comes in and scores kind of what he's been averaging in Q Cup, which is completely fair. Did get the 4 errors there, so that's interesting in itself. The theory about this with Marzu or Campbell was, that they might get they'll probably score well this week, and that happened. But Marzu probably loses his spot to Corey Thompson, who comes back in the next week or two. Campbell loses his spot to Brimson. So yeah, you scored well this week, but then you're going to have a red dot basically, unless there's further injuries. Then that's the theory there. So take their good score, but just be aware that that's probably what's going to happen. And they both played pretty well. You got Cammy with 45, but Campbell there with 42. Nice solid game, 155 meters, 5 tackle breaks. So a solid debut for those two guys. Obviously, losing side, but that's that there. Aaron Clark wasn't as dynamic as he was the week before. Crazy that he ran the ball so much the week before, and then this week he runs once or twice for 17 meters. Like, what happens there? Taylor and Foggs, really interesting to see Foggs only have 112 kick meters and Taylor kicking more. I actually think, I don't know, they both probably kick similar in terms of their ability, but not good if you're a Foggs fan because, just a nothing game for him. 2 tackle breaks for 66 meters, 112 kick meters, 19 tackles. Thankfully, only 1 miss and 1 goal there, but just one of those games, just not good enough. And majority of the teams against the Storm don't actually, players don't score too well. So that's that there. Finucane, someone that people are talking about picking up, and just 72 minutes for 32, just not good enough. He's not going to make you any cash, which is annoying if you picked him up. Remus Smith, this was the week you really wanted to score well, and unfortunately didn't get to 20 tackles, which basically all he did. He did get sin binned, but 47 meters isn't enough for your centre there, unfortunately. Olam with 22 again, just another terrible game. Like literally, as soon as we started talking about him as being a keeper and averaging in the mid, low to mid 40s, he comes in and just hits 2, 22, and 22. So loving the twos at the moment, and he probably becomes close to a sell. He's just losing so much cash. Like he's going to be under 400 after this week, which is terrible when you're picking him up near 500. Just a real tough one when you could have picked up like Jack Bird, for example, in our People's squad, who I picked up this week in my team. Jeremiah with a low one with 11. As I say, Kenny Bromwich, 25 minutes, and looks like he's going to be out for close to a month. So we'll see how the team list line up. And someone like Trent up top, I'm not sure how to say his name yet, but if he gets a decent role, then he could be an interesting pickup from these two squads. But other than that, let's move on to the Eels and the Knights. And please, guys, if you are enjoying the content that I bring out every week, then it'd be really, really helpful if you hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate that. I said I got about half my viewers subscribed and half aren't. So if you can do that, that'd be great. And hit that like so we can get it out to more people. I appreciate it there. Eels, and we got Gutho, Sivo, and Madison really just stealing the show there. Maddo with a try assist and try on his right side, and then you got Gutho and Sivo just destroying the left side there. A couple of try assists from Gutho to Sivo and a try himself. With Sivo getting a try assist as well. So just completely dominated on that right edge for the Knights there, and just a sad sight to see how bad the Knights are going. Obviously got a bunch of players out, and Eels were pretty much full strength, especially with Marnie playing. So this result was expected, and a good bounce back game for Eels, who didn't have to try too hard to actually get this win. But good to see him put 40 points on if you're an Eels fan. As last year, they were definitely started to fade away by this point. So that's that. Gutho, if you picked him up for the buy round, you've done really, really well. Sivo, not many people have, which is fine. Maddo, I personally have, which was good. And I know a lot of you other guys even were tempted to bring him in this week, leading into this buy round. And a great score to cover the kind of the losses that he's been getting the last few weeks with his lower scores. And we know this is what he can do. He can get that sort of base around that 40 with the tackles and the run meters, which is sweet. And then he has the ability to make tackle breaks and try assists and tries there. So awesome work for Maddo. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come. Sean Lane through the middle was amazing and got a nice try assist for 65 there in his 57 minutes. Wanga Blake, I think one of the boys on Talking Lead picked him up and was just like a bit of a mistake. And then he's picked up a 40-odd and a 65 over the last couple of games. So looked really dynamic in attack and ran sideways a lot, breaking a bunch of tackles. So well done to him. Brownie, we've been talking about for a bunch of weeks now, and when he comes back, which was ready for round 13, he was going to average somewhere in the mid 50s and score well, and he comes up with a 64 and a much better score than when he played. Than his counterpart in Mitch Moses has been getting lately. So Brownie could be a solid option under 700k there if you need a half, but I imagine a lot of people are running with a couple of decent halves at the moment. So decent option if you want him there. Reed Mane comes out with a great game again. Another couple of try assists, 37 tackles, 152 kick meters, which is good. but it looks like he's going to be injured for the next little bit. It sounds like a subluxation of the shoulder, which I personally have had, but sounds like it was a lot more minor than what Reed's is if he's going to be out for the next few weeks. So with those ones, they don't seem to be as bad, but also the same fact that I play cricket and he plays footy, where you're tackling in that motion all the time, which is going to cause some issues on the on the shoulder there. So yeah, for him it's a bit annoying. If you're owning him, I think you got to, if it's 2 weeks and you get him back for 16, I think that would be definitely a hold. He missed 14, 15, and 17, right? But he is one of the premier hookers in the game, and he's going to be averaging what he is right now. I'd say at least a 62. So you're getting someone that averages 62 at a 668 price or thereabouts after the updates and lockout. But yeah, if that's the case, I think you hold. If he's out for about 4 weeks, then it's probably worth trading out someone that plays 17 who's a gun, and then you can pick up Reed in round 18 or 19 when maybe we don't need Brayley anymore. Going to be the question, which we'll talk about shortly. But yeah, so that's the theory with Mane. Let's just see what happens with the injury and how long they think he's going to be out for. All right, Mitchie Barnett, we spoke about as someone that could be a decent option, going to be playing decent minutes in the middle again. And he delivered 53 and 54 minutes, 41 tackles, 98 run meters, a couple of turnovers. So if he didn't have those turnovers, obviously it's a score in the 40s and not too exciting. So for me, it's hard to see him doing incredibly well, like low 50s average maybe. Yes, you get him a dual position, but he's not going to be playing 17. He's a bit cheaper, but I just think, if you've got someone like Watson, I think you just hold him steady. You can always hold him for the entire year. You've got the hooker and the middle cover, especially when we've got Brayley, who's struggling a little bit, and a few people might be tempted to trade him out. Watson averaging in the low 50s is just a perfect player to hold. Similar to Schuster, I think you just keep holding these guys for the remainder of the season. Kurt Mann did get to go back and play a decent role again, got 51. So when he gets good minutes in the halves there, he averages over 50, and that's what we've seen with Kurt. He did get named in the interchange bench, which might have scared a few people away, but you get a good score from him. With Blake Green retiring, you can see Kurt playing there a little bit longer, but obviously Pearce will be back eventually, so he'll lose his spot to that. Crossland was out, so maybe what happens when Crossland comes back? All those questions there. Fitzgibbon, not a great option. Doing okay. Nathan Brown with 44. He's been so bad this year. He'll be very interesting to see if maybe there can't be an injury there. I just don't know why he's not playing and scoring like he did last year. I know he had a bit of a flurry at the back end of the year to average sort of low 60s, but someone averaged 44. He's getting decent minutes. Where's his tackle breaks and offloads? Maybe he's the easier one to tackle these days. I'm not sure if there's any footy heads out there that understand why Brownie wouldn't be getting the tackle breaks. Is it because he doesn't have as much footwork? Like I've seen him have footwork. They just use him as a bit of a battering ram, and he's probably easier to hold up and tackle there. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that one. Is Brycey Cartwright with another try to add to his tally, and Brayley gets off early with 72 minutes there, 49 tackles for 4 misses. He's just missing so many more tackles these days. Not running the ball as much, not kicking as much out of dummy half. At 738k, he's going to be right under 700 after this week, and I think a lot of people will be thinking about selling him. And he gets 42. He's probably that's going to be a season average of about 60 after lockout, and still amazing, right? But can he get back to that? It's now 3 weeks in a row that he's had really low scores. So for someone that doesn't play 17, do you still see him as a keeper? And the question is, in the hooking position, you got Reed Mane who's out now. How many hookers are actually top line guns? McCulloch's had another slow score. So do you hold on to someone like Brayley? Do you use Watson in the hooking position? Really strange that this year the hooking position isn't as strong. So yeah, have a look at that, guys, and let me know what you think about it. But we'll move on to Brody Jones, was someone who was an option for a few people. Did get 42, but how long does he keep that spot? That's going to be the question on everyone's lips, that's for sure. Opacek with a try and line break. Couple of tackle breaks, but 4 misses and one error there for negative 10, which kind of stopped him getting a really nice score in the mid 40s. But he's someone that will he continue to be a keeper? And the question is, you've got guys like Raymond out there who's going to be a really solid option this next few weeks. Are they clear cut keepers? Do you just hold Opacek because he's averaging 40? I think that's probably the best shout, and kind of work out how he's going to play over the next few weeks. If he continues to get good scores, you hold on. If he doesn't, then you can probably move him on. But again, that's playing center roulette, and we don't want to do that. So that's that. But he did score better than Papali'i, who's had 2 low scores for the entire year, really. So a lot of people are going to be like, oh, he's crap now, whatever. But he's going to drop down closer to 700k. So he's just going to become cheaper for a lot of people, and he could be a really good option if you don't have him now to pick up in like round 18. But yeah, he's only had 2 low scores. Yes, they've come 2 in the last 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, but still great. Average still 57 minutes in the edge in the middle there. Not really an issue to be had. Just limited tackles, not scoring any tries at the moment, which he was at the start of the year. So maybe you can get back to that if the Eels keep playing well. But yeah, that's the story on Papali'i. Clifford done okay in his first game. He had a massive kick out in the full, which wasn't good. But so did Albert Kelly in his first kick back in the when he played for the first game back for the Broncos. So that's that. Dunster is a young fella on the wing. A few people would have picked him up this week, but scored okay with a try. Other than that, nothing too important. Someone that's going to be out in round 17, so you'd want to trade him out by then. Will he make enough money? I don't think so. So that's that. Texie, 28, if you still own him. Nikko Heinz with 27, only got 36 minutes, so not too great. No real attacking stats and a couple of errors. Moses with 25, so 25 in his 55 minutes is a really, really poor score. Was up over 30, I think, and lost some points overnight too. So a try saved, a couple of goals, 10 tackles, 4 misses, an error, 230 kick meters and 59 run meters. Not great. So he's still having those calf troubles, and that's why he's gone off early. You imagine there, no, they were winning, so there's no point keeping him on. Yeah, really annoying. So someone that is going to be up, it's going to be under a 50 average after this week, and the question and losing some good cash. So the question is, do you keep hold of him? And I think you do, unless there's a lingering issue there that we hear about. But I think you just hold steady with him. He's not going as bad as Bradman Best, let's say. So 16 for an average of under 34. It'll be up to this week. So he'll be very low in the 400s again, very similar to just scoring similar to Olam at the moment. Just not good enough. They don't get to give him enough ball. The team's getting beat up pretty hard. So how is he going to score well as a center? It's very hard to do so. And I suppose that's probably all I need to say on the rest of the players there. You got Jack Johns, who played his first game for the Knights after playing a few for the Bunnies last year. That's about it, guys. That's it. If you're enjoying these, please do like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next few. We talk about my team, how I went, the People's Squad, and also the alternates, and we'll go from there, guys. Looking forward to those new team lists in round 14, and we'll see how many Origin guys back up. But hope you enjoy this. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.